And so let's continue this series today, and actually let's end this series today as well, talking about faith that finishes. Part 4, Invisible Faith series, faith that finishes. And there's a difference between faith to
start willing, start excited, start pumped up. But it's how we finish, it's how we endure, it's how we continue. Anybody can start believing, but it takes invisible faith to keep believing when you're tired. You're tired of waiting. You're still waiting. You're walking through something that you don't understand. Maybe you've been diagnosed with a sickness this week. Maybe you got a letter in the mail this week. Maybe you were told you're about to lose your job. Maybe you got sick, got an email this week here that was unfavorable. And faith that finishes says, in the face of whatever I am going through, I trust God. I believe God. I believe that there's a way out of nowhere. This door may have closed in my faith, but I trust God that even though the door has closed, my God shall supply all of my needs according to his riches and glory. How many of you grateful it's not according to your riches in your bank account? In Wells Fargo, in Navy Federal, because sometimes that doesn't look the way you want it to look. But if you base your life on what you have, sometimes you would never see how you're going to make it. But if you base your life based on what your God is able to do, it doesn't matter what it looks like down here, because you know that your God is going to make it work out for your good. I love what it says here in Hebrews chapter 12, verses 1. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a greater cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything. Somebody shout everything. He said, throw off everything that hinders and so easily to beset you, and the sin that so easily entangles you. And let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and the perfecter of our faith. Let me just stop here real fast. So this past Tuesday, our staff had after our staff meeting, we had this crazy idea to just go after our meeting and just go outside and run. We all had on pink on Tuesday, and we all decided to go outside and run. If you didn't see the video, it is on social media. Maybe they can have it up in the second service on today. But faith to finish, and to be clear, I did not run my best in that race. No, I'm serious. I did not run my best because my hip was hurting. No, my hip really was hurting. And Miss Minerva like, nah. And I didn't have the right shoes on. I was scared I was going to slip. So I didn't put my best foot forward. Literally, I did not put my best foot forward. And so people have been talking smack on social media about that video. And so today, you may not be here when I'm doing it, but I'm going to take my shoes off, and I'm going to do an old school country style. And I'm going to run from here to all the way down this street here and show you how fast your pastor can run. Come on, somebody. No cameras are allowed at all. No recording this time. He said, and let us run with perseverance the race that was marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus. He's the goalpost. He's the thing that we're reaching to. There's always an excuse. There's always something that will get in our way to hinder us from running our best race, to stop us from running our best race. But when we fix our eyes on something that's bigger than us and better than us, or watch this here, if you fix your eyes on something that you know you believe in God from, when the storms of life come, when you have hip problems, come on somebody, foot problems, you won't allow that to be an excuse of what you're reaching toward. Because there's always something here trying to hinder us from getting there. And that's what the enemy knows. He will pull things up in our life to hinder us from trusting and believing in God. But we got to fix, when I say fix, we got to fix our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer, the perfecter of our faith. It says, for the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning his shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Last verse. Consider him who endured such opposition from sinners, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart. Faith that finishes, faith that never quits, faith that says, in the face of opposition, I see opportunity. I'm saying it again. Faith that says, in the face of opposition, I see opportunity. Because watch this here. We're all going to face opposition. But if you get a better revelation and a better understanding about the opposition that's in front of you, you can really see it as an opportunity for God to be glorified, an opportunity for God to make a way out of no way, an opportunity for God to give you a testimony. It said, for the joy that was set before him. So to understand what was before him, it was a cross. And at the end of the day, if you see a cross, and we understood that the cross during that time, it was a thing that the worst of sinners would go through. It would be a process like we do lethal injection now to get rid of people. During their time, they will put you on a cross and leave you out hanging. But the scripture says, for the joy set before him. So you would think if it's joy set before him, maybe it's saying a vacation in front of him. Maybe it says a new house, a new car, a new spouse. But no, it was a cross in front of him. And it referred to the cross as joy. And again, if you don't count it joy, the enemy will make it pain. If you don't consider what you're going through as joy, as an opportunity, the enemy is going to remind you of every negative thing that's attached to the cross that's before you. Jesus knew that death was in front of him. He knew that he was about to be crucified. But in his mind, in his heart, he saw the opportunity on the other side of the cross. And I will never forget a message my wife taught over 15 years ago now that literally changed my view of a whole lot of things. We even wrote a message, or actually wrote a song about it, but the other side of the cross. Many times churches will preach people to the cross, which is important. John 3:16, for God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son. That is the cross. That is the good news. We need to preach that to get people saved. But once I'm saved, there's some stuff on the other side of the cross. And that's what Jesus saw. He saw the joy on the other side of the cross. I don't know what you're going through right now. I don't know what you're being through. I don't know if you're one of the persons who's furloughed right now. I don't know if you're one of the persons who's been threatened about losing your job right now. What I do know is that that cross that is in front of you, there's opportunity behind it if you can trust and believe God. That again, God, those that are walking with God, I've never seen the righteous forsaken or seed begging for bread. And any time that I've seen his righteous in a position where their head too big, those that I were intimate with, I could always go back and find something that not that God did wrong, but what they were not doing right. See, listen, there's never a breakdown in God, but there could be a breakdown in us. And so understanding that God is not a respecter of persons, but he is a respecter of principles. I'm going to say it again. God is not a respecter of persons, but he is a respecter of principles. And when his people don't apply his principles right, you can be believing God for something, but if you're not applying the principles or walking in the truth of a thing, you could rob yourself of what really belongs to you because you're not doing it God's way, you're doing it your way, and you want to stamp God's name on it, but God only approves what he desires. But we have taught people today, just do whatever you want to do and God's going to be happy with it. That's a lie. I mean, you know that as a parent, that your kid just can't do whatever they do and you're going to be happy with it. Now watch this here. It don't mean that you're going to abandon them, but it could mean that you're going to withhold some good things from them. Because what? He chasing them whom he... And one of the reasons why me personally, why again, I love Israel, I love everybody God loves. Come on, and God, so what? Love the world. My only issue with the Israel thing, if you would, and I promise you a teaching is coming in this soon here, is that again, God chasing those whom he loved. For some reason, America has an infatuation with Israel that Israel can't do no wrong. And I don't know about you, if you keep on giving your child candy or gifts when they done wrong, what we do, we spoil that child. They don't know right from wrong. And I believe that we have coddled Israel so much in all the evil things that they have done. And they have done some stuff that was horrible. But because we love them so much and we have a warped understanding of the Bible when it comes to Israel, that we keep giving them stuff that we should not give them. I am convinced Israel could have been saved by now if America wasn't so in love with it. We are so in love with it that we won't even correct them when they're wrong. And so I'm convinced if they have been chastised or corrected or been withheld some good things, they will wake up. Their eyes can be open, but you keep giving them good stuff, even when they do wrong. What's the need to change? Okay, that's a whole other series, y'all. Sit down at the right hand of the throne of God. See, we try to be God too much. Who was the one when God told Abraham to go through a particular region? And of course, Abraham understood how the king worked in that area there. And I think he told his wife Sarah to lie and say that you're my sister. Now, wait a minute. Now, God told you to go that way, right? You don't have to, if God told you to do it, you don't have to lie and manipulate something to work. God had it already worked out on what to do when you went that way. And then the man got upset and said, hey, why did you lie to me and tell me that Sarah was your sister? And it wasn't, because we think we can help God out sometimes. Just do what God told you to do. Follow God's book. God knows how to work that stuff out. All things work together. He knows how to bring things together. Pastor Corey, stay on point. Yes, sir. Part 4, faith that finishes. Point number one, real faith keeps running. I'm going to say it again. Real faith keeps running. Sometimes you don't need a new promise. You just need new endurance. I'm going to say it again. Sometimes you don't need a new promise, a new word from God. You just need to endure. You need fresh endurance. Some of you already know what God said. You already know what God said. You keep asking God for a new word. God said you don't need a new word. You just need new endurance. You heard what I said. Be still and know that I am God. I've already told you I will provide all of your needs according to my riches in glory. He's already told you by stripes you are healed. You already know what God has said about certain things, but what is battling you now is your inability to endure. And now you want to quit, and now you want to throw in the towel. Now because circumstances in life is contradicting what you believe is the will of God, you now think you need a new promise or a new word. No, you don't need a new promise. You don't need new revelation. You don't even need a new word. You need new endurance. You need to be strengthened to hold on, to hold out, and to trust God for whatever it is you are believing Him for. Maybe some of you guys are believing God for a spouse. Maybe you're like me right now for our church. I'm believing God for a new building. But I can get weary in well-doing. I could quit halfway down and stop looking. No, I need not a new word, not a new promise, because God already promised what He's going to do for Hope City, that He will give us the right building that we can meet the needs of our city. I need endurance and patience to find out where it's at. Come on, somebody. Not a new promise, not a new word. I love what it says here in Galatians 6:9. Let us not grow weary in doing good, for the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Yes. Don't miss that again. Read it again. Let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Think about it. You go out today and you go out and you plant seeds and you water that and you do what you need to do. And you go home and you sleep for one night and you sleep for 2 nights and you go back out there and you don't see nothing. Now you're mad. Now you're angry. Now you're upset. No. In the proper time, you will reap a harvest. Most time there's a lag time between sowing and reaping. See, we always want to sow today and reap tomorrow, but oftentimes there's a lag time between the sowing and the reaping, and He promises us that we will reap a harvest if we don't give up. If we don't lose hope, if we don't get weary in well-doing. Maybe the relationships you are in right now, you don't see the harvest. Maybe the company that you started, you don't see the harvest yet. Maybe you moved from one city now to Savannah, and you was excited to move to Savannah, and God gave you a vision, and God gave you this, and what you thought it was going to be is not that. Anybody ever been there before? Now, maybe you're past that season right now in Savannah, but you moved here and you was hoping as soon as you moved to the city, it was going to be a big city, big things going to pop off. And ain't nothing pop off. Ain't nothing good happened the way you thought it was going to happen. But because you stayed and didn't go back, it may take a couple years for you to bump into your husband, bump into your wife. Come on, somebody. Bump into the dream job that you have been looking for. There's always a lag time between the sowing and the reaping. Don't quit in the dip. But I'm going to say it again. Don't quit in the dip. That space between the manifestation of what God is going to do for you, too many people quit in the dip. We're almost close to the breakthrough, but we quit in that moment. We quit in the middle. We quit in the middle of the process. Point number 2, the finish line is found in focus. I'm going to say it again. The finish line is found in focus. It says, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus. Jesus was so focused on the cross. There was one situation when Peter came to him where he said, Peter, my time is at hand. My adversaries are coming to get me, to kill me, and to crucify me. Peter turned around and said, far be it from me. I will not let them do that to you. Jesus looked at him and said, get thee behind me, Satan. You are an offense. Here's my point. Jesus was so focused on finish his assignment that even when a friend came trying to help him out and tell him, you ain't got to go through that, he said, no, I am focused on my assignment. Peter had a good idea, but it wasn't a God idea. And too many of us got good ideas that's not a God idea because we really don't want to go through that process. What if Jesus really did not want to go through that? He would have leached on to that good idea that was not a God idea. And some of you are married to a good idea that has nothing to do with God. You're married to a good thought, a good possibility, but God says, I'm nowhere near in that at all. You was just looking for an opportunity to get out. And what if Jesus was just that weak? Because if you remember when Peter said that to him, Jesus rebuked him. Later on in the story, Jesus went ahead knowing that he's about to go to the cross. He's in the garden and he prayed to the Father saying what? He said, Father, Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass me by. Wait a minute. What cup was he talking about? He was talking about the cross, the blood, what he was about to go through. Peter just put an idea in his head. Now Jesus over here praying to God, God, if there's another way, let this cup pass me by. Number one, Jesus knew there was no other way. He had already said stuff throughout his 3 years walking on the earth. My meat is to do the will of him that sent me. Revelation tells us he was slain before the foundations of the world. He knew there was no other way. But because he was 100% man and 100% God, when Peter put that thought in his head, the man side of him found himself in the garden and said, Father, is it possible? Is there another way? Do I really have to die? Nevertheless, not my will be done. Your will be done. Listen, people will always try to put ideas and thoughts in your mind to do something a different way that may not be God's way, but you got to have a nevertheless. Not my will, not my desire, but your will be done. You have to be so focused on the assignment for the race that is set before you, whether it's in your relationship, and for some of you who aren't saved right now, maybe it's focusing right now in on who is this Jesus he is talking about. Maybe you're already saved and your focus is your children, your marriage. I don't know the specificity of it, but whatever it is, you need to focus your focus. Somebody say, focus your focus. Because sometimes we got to focus on what we're focusing on. Because sometimes the stuff that we're focusing on is not what we should be focusing on. And sometimes we have to focus our focus. Hebrews says, fix your eyes on Jesus. Listen, you can't finish strong if you're distracted. I'm going to say it again. You can't finish strong if you are distracted. You can't accomplish what you're trying to accomplish if you're distracted. You can't say you want to leave your 9-to-5 job and go start a new business. You're going to give yourself 6 months to leave that job. You would never be able to leave that job if you are distracted. If you will never finish strong or make the proper transition out of 9-to-5 into your personal business if you're not focused. If you don't, watch this here, remove certain distractions. Some stuff that you normally can do in one season because you're now trying to shift, some stuff you cannot do right now. Why? Because you got to focus on what you're trying to do. I had a sister, I still have a sister, but I had a sister who every weekend, every Friday is turn up time. Time to turn up, time to turn up. But you didn't do nothing all week to qualify you to turn up. I think you only get to turn up when you done something that qualify to turn up. You ain't do no work. You calling me for money. Come on, somebody. I remember one day she called me for some money, y'all, and then I'm on social media Friday night. She out partying. I'm like, you partying on my dime. Turning up on my dime. Too many people are believing God for this, want that, and we're turning up too much, or we're partying too much, or we're celebrating too much before we get the work done. See, I love to celebrate. I think you should celebrate after each victory. But you haven't got the victory yet. So now you got to put your face down, stay focused, get the job done, get the work done. Then you will position yourself to throw a party. But if you get content with just throwing parties even when you're not winning, a win really does you no good no more. But you want to celebrate when it's the appropriate time to celebrate. Faith loses power when it loses focus. Think about Peter. Walking on water, as long as his eyes was on Jesus, Peter said, Lord, if that be you, bid me to come. He said, come. Peter stepped out of the water and he started walking. As long as his faith was focused, as long as he kept his eyes on Jesus. Faith loses power when you lose focus. As soon as he got his eyes off Jesus and put it on the problem and put it on the storm, he began to sink. And that's what happens to us. When our eyes stay on the word, our eyes stay in worship, we are believing God and we are trusting God. As long as our eyes stay on that, but as soon as we start looking at Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, what they doing, what they got, we start sinking. We lose focus. Our faith loses its power when we lose our focus. Listen, stop comparing your race to someone else's. What God started in you looks different. So stop comparing your race to somebody else's race, because what God is doing in you is different. And watch this here. You can't compare your race with their race because they started their race 2 years ago. You started your race just yesterday. And now you're wondering why they so ahead of you, because they are 2 years in the game. Come on, somebody. You know, I tell people right now, do not try to decorate your house for Christmas based on how the Williams decorate their house for Christmas. Because we got 20 years stored up of decorations up in our attic right now. Come on, somebody. And now you see all of our decorating. Man, they blessed. Man, they got stuff everywhere. Why we only got one tree? You only been married for 3 weeks. Come on, somebody. Put your time in. Put your time in. Don't compare yourself with somebody else's race. Don't compare your marriage, your health, your mind with somebody else's life. Why they so healthy? Because they haven't been eating grease all their life. You've been eating fried chicken. Come on, somebody. Oxtails, come on, pigtails and pig knuckles and pig feet. The health may be different. Don't compare. I tell people, when you compare, you will despair. You'll find yourself, oh my God, look at their life. Oh, look what they got. You better start comparing. Because watch this here. There's always somebody better off than you. I don't care where you at. If I start comparing, somebody's better than me. And I'm like, oh my God, how they got that? No. Focus on your own race. Focus on your own lane. Enjoy what God has blessed you with. Some of y'all was able to enjoy what you had until you turned on social media. You was happy with your man, happy with your wife, until you saw he just bought her a new car. Now you're like, I just heard Tommy bought Abigail a new car. Come on. You was fine with that paid off car we got. No payment every month. Come on, somebody, because these new cars ain't cheap. These new cars are not cheap, and the insurance premiums, I know I said that wrong, premiums. Is not cheap. Come on, focus. Come on, focus your focus on you. Run your race. And watch us here. Leave people alone. Leave people. People not going the way you want them to go. They don't look like you, act like you, talk. Leave people alone. Pray for people. Help people out. Leave people alone. I'm not saying don't minister to people. I'm not saying don't preach truth. But sometimes just if we stop being, see, the Bible says work out your own salvation. That word own, work out your own salvation with fear, not your neighbor's salvation. Work out your own with fear and trembling. God's putting the right people, the right things in place to woo them in, to get them to get it fully right. Because watch this here, you ain't fully right. It's just that your wrong can't be seen. Okay. Faith that finishes says, I'm not looking around, I'm looking ahead. Faith that finishes is not looking around, it's looking ahead. Not what they did yesterday, not how they offended you yesterday, and that's not denying that was wrong. Yes, that was wrong, but faith, if we're going to go forward, I can't keep looking in the rearview mirror of what happened yesterday. Faith that finishes says, I'm not looking around, I'm looking ahead. Number 3, the wait is still working. I'm going to say it again. The wait, W-A-I-T, the wait is still working. The waiting season is not wasted. It's strengthening your faith for what's next. The wait really is worth it. You know, whether you're a single person waiting for the right person to come, the wait can be worth it. You're looking to invest in a new business and you want it right now, but it's not manifesting right now. Trust God that the wait is worth it. Maybe he want to make sure you don't get caught up in the wrong thing. Maybe he's trying to bring somebody else in the equation you need to meet before you start that new venture. The wait is still working for your good. We sometimes think because you're waiting, God is against you, that you'll never have. No, that I believe from my life, I'm convinced of this. All things work together for me. I don't just quote that as a scripture. That is my life mantra. I know all things work together for Corey. It's got the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. I'm not saying I don't miss the mark here and there on my step, but I am convinced that God is ordering my steps, and every time I miss it, I hear him enough to push me back over. Come on, somebody. The wait is worth it, and the wait is still working. Don't confuse delayed with denied. Don't confuse delayed with denied. Invisible faith understand God's timing is never late, it's strategic. Invisible faith understand that God's timing is never late, it's strategic. Who was the one, the brother died, and they said to Jesus when he came, they said, Jesus, if you would have been here, my brother would have not died. Who was this? Who? Martha asked a question about who? Her brother Lazarus, and she had the nerve to tell Jesus, if you would have been here, my brother would not have, if you would have been on time, my brother would not have that. Listen, God's timing is never late, it's strategic. And how do we know that? Because he turns around and say to her, hey, you really have no clue about what you're talking about. Because what I was doing had nothing to do with time. It had everything to do with strategy. Your brother who may have died physically, I'm working on something bigger and better than that. And for you who are so caught up on things got to be on the right time. Now, listen, I'm not saying being late for work. Because I can see y'all going to work. So my pastor preached a sermon, boss, and he said it's not about time, it's about being strategic. So I really wasn't 10 minutes late. I was being strategic. I was picking up my Starbucks coffee. Come on, somebody. So don't go to work saying you got to word from the Lord. Strategic strategy. Don't confuse delayed with denied. There's something that we cannot see. We see here, God sit high, and see, all we can see is all we can see from here. But God sits high, he looks low, and he can see the beginning and the end at the same time. And not only can he see the beginning and the end at the same time, he sees some of the stuff that happens in the middle. And so therefore, because he see that, he see you want to marry Joe, but he already see that Joe ain't going to be the right one for you. So he's changing things around, but you so caught up on Joe. I got to have Joe. God sees something you don't see about Joe. And I just got to have Joe. I just want Joe. Joe make my liver quiver. Okay, now, first of all, you don't want nobody to make your liver quiver. Come on, somebody. You know, that stuff we said back in the day. Oh, she just made my liver quiver. You know, just some dumb stuff. I mean, where do we get that from? I get the point they were trying to make, just making your heart melt. I mean, your heart can't melt. I don't need my heart to melt. It sounds good. It's emotional. And it's the emotional stuff that gets us in trouble. Not the love stuff. It's the emotional stuff, because most stuff really ain't love, it's emotions. And if you don't know the difference between love and emotions, you will call something love, and that's nothing but emotions. And you ever saw your first child find their first love and, I'm just so in love. Okay, baby, okay, you in love today? Okay. Next week, y'all breaking up. Come on, somebody. Yeah, it's emotion. It's emotion. You'll find out if it's love over time. Come on, somebody. Because love knows how to endure and fight and push through. But emotions, I'm out of here. I'm having my way. It's what I want. It's Burger King around here. What a musician at, because I'm done. Number 4, I'm really done. Number 4, what started, let's go back to number 3. I like this verse right here in Habakkuk 2:3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. Though it tarry, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay. Whatever you're waiting for, a relationship, a financial breakthrough, a healing, whatever the specificity of it be, though it tarry, wait for it. And y'all heard me say before, the weight of the wait can be heavy. The weight, the W-E-I-G of the weight, W-A-I-T, it can be heavy. And sometimes we get so tired of waiting, we just let it go. But though it tarry, wait for it. It will surely come it will not delay. Number 4, what started invisible will end unstoppable. What started this faith that we've been talking about for 4 weeks, what started invisible, and I heard Minister Shannon, you did a great job on Sunday. What started invisible, amen. What started invisible, it will end unstoppable. Again, you can't see faith. You see the effects of faith. You see the impact of faith. Faith may start unseen, but it will end undeniable. People would know you trusted God. People would know you believe. People would know you had something greater than what's in your bank account, greater than the stuff that God has blessed in your hands. What was invisible in your last season will be visible in this one, not because of what you see, but because of who you believe. We trust God. I trust God. Last verse and we're done. I love what it says here in Philippians 1:6, being confident of this, that he who began a good work in you would carry it on to completion.